Hello everybody, Twitch and Nitro here, back again, and in this video I want to go into some of the technical specifications and all of the redstone gadgetry I used in my latest endgame map that some of you probably saw. So I think I'm just gonna get stuck right in. Well, the end game map, for those who don't know, is a PvP map where players must both survive and maybe even fight others for as long as possible against hordes of Endermen holding TNT. It's based on the Enderman game, which I'm not entirely sure who first invented, but it's a Minecraft game which has been around since pretty much the dawn of Enderman. Anyway, into the technical mumbo jumbo. Okay, I think we'll start down here. These are the game rules I've used and a piece of equipment. This we've probably all seen before. This keeps it so it's always daytime. So there's a minecart in here, and the minecart falls through the cobwebs, and then it goes over this detector rail, which changes the time and then resets itself. So it goes back up here, and then the minecart goes down the cobwebs again. There we go. See? One of the reasons why that didn't tell me that the game time had changed is because I have no commands, so none of the command blocks will deposit their commands. There's no normal spawns of monsters in here, only the ones I want to spawn through spawners. There's no mob loot and no blocks, and that's very important. Oops. That's very important for the walls map. I do have sound running, that's good. Yeah, it doesn't matter about that. So the first thing people do when they come in is they're in this spawn area, they press a button and it teleports them over to here. This monstrosity of redstone over here is the key sort of brain behind the whole thing. This keeps track of any of the games that are currently running. It teleports the players to the new games, and it makes sure nobody can start a game while a game is already in operation. And it also controls the repairing of the game. So let's actually just rip through the slide here so we can look at this a little bit more easily. Get out my way. There we go. So when you're in here, you have 3 buttons. You can start the vanilla survival arena, the walled in PvP arena, and you can repair the walled in map. Now, where to begin? So, this looks a lot more complicated than it actually is. When you press that button, obviously it won't work on me because I'm in creative mode, and I've made it so the command blocks will only teleport me if you're in survival mode. That's another thing that this teleporter does. It puts you into survival mode by going through this. Basically what happens is from spawn to selection area, you go here and there's a spawner there. In fact, actually I can show you what it does. There you go. It changes your game modes and does some other fancy stuff. Let's actually, for the purposes of demonstration, allow game rules to be seen. So when you first spawn, whether you're in survival or creative mode, you can press this button, and there you go. As you can see, sets my game mode to adventure mode and then teleports me into here. And that set time command is actually from the thing I showed off at the beginning. So once you're here, you can press one of 2 buttons. Now when you press the vanilla button, it basically just sends a redstone signal. If you forget about this is just a long-winded way of getting it down there. It sends a signal down here to this AND gate, which is using this diode sort of technology one way. This is actually the location which detects whether a game is already on. And basically it sends a redstone signal down here, and if a game is not currently running, it will say this, and then teleport all the people that are in the adventure game mode over into this. And this will then start the game, cycle round, and then teleport people to each starting position in there. Now there are 10 different starting positions. These bedrock layouts are basically the boundaries for the detection. And that is a big boundary for detection, which I shall go on to in... actually, round about now, yeah. So, as I said, if a game isn't on, this will teleport you. And it's the same for that side too. That's the other button. That's where the other button goes to these two things. Basically, if somebody is in one of these two arenas, there is a massive... if we can go in here, there's a spawner in the center here, which has been specifically... well, actually, there's two, which are specifically edited, so it encases this entire area. So wherever you are in this area, it is spawning a villager, and that villager is spawning in there with 0 health, but it's spawning every like half a second or something. Now you just saw another function of this thing over here. As I left the area, it says that the game has ended. It says the game has ended, and it sets it to peaceful and then sets it to normal. This is important. Now, this is this thing down here. Basically, when the pressure plate, which is very disguised, so when something spawns, so when someone is in there, a villager will spawn here. This will do two things. It will go off in this direction to this unit, and it will go off in this direction to this. Now, if this is lit up, this area up here will be lit up, and it will stop this torch from turning on, which will mean no one will be able to start any games. So no games will start. That's the first thing that does, the player detector. The second thing is when the villager despawns, so when no one is in the arena, on the falling edge of that, it changes the it sends this message saying the current game has ended, and it will set the difficulty to 0 and then set the difficulty back to normal again. So that happens whenever you leave this area. So if I were to go back in again and leave again, there you go, see, and difficulty peaceful, difficulty to normal. So that's all well and good. That's the same thing happens for both this, which is the survival one, and for this, which is the walled in. Now the walled in, you get teleported there for the walled in selection. The walled in has something extra to it. You can have the option to fix it if you need to. Now let's change to adventure mode actually. Now once this has been clicked, there's a T flip-flop that it goes into. Oh no, sorry, no, not a T flip-flop, it's an RS Nor Latch. So this has already been activated. This means that you can't repair that twice. So once you've repaired it once, you can't repair it again until somebody, and that's where this signal comes from, until somebody presses that button. So teleporting to walled in arena, and now that means that after people have finished the map there, they can do this, which will teleport you to the fixing area, which we'll go to in a second. So this RS Nor Latch here, you can probably, if I click it again, you can see the sort of... So now that line's on, and now that line is on. See, it just switches, and it doesn't allow you to press the same button twice. Yep. And that is that's what controls and stops people from repairing it like tons of times and just keep hitting the button. So it means once somebody's gone, they won't just keep smacking it and teleporting other people over to the fixing area, which is just there in the distance. We'll go over there in a second. In fact, actually, we'll go over there now because I need to talk about this second detection system. So there's one player detector up here with a pressure plate, and there's another pressure plate down here which does another thing. Actually, I can't quite remember what it does. Oh, right, yes. So basically, they're over here. If we toodle on down, and this does the same thing. So if I enter the area, the thing will spawn over there, and if I leave the area, there we go. Peaceful, normal, perfect. So as you could see through that world hole there, there's a heck of a lot of spawners. And down here, there is a clock type thing for when something spawns. And it will say repairing, and then it will go through this, and then it will teleport you back, basically. Now there are two villager spawners here. One villager spawner spawns someone here, and the other villager spawner spawns them way over there on that bottom pressure plate. Now that's the particular important one. That stops people from starting a game while someone is repairing the map. So no man is left behind, so to speak. So if someone were to press the repair button, and then while someone's over there, someone else pressed to start a game, that person isn't left behind because you can't start a game while someone is left over there. So all of those things that I've just explained, all of them are done by this central hub here, and I like it quite a lot. It uses a lot of different sort of redstone tricks. One-way systems, because the power here doesn't go down here, but the power here can go up here because of the half slab. And the falling edge detector here with the monostable. The two-player detectors, the AND gate, which that pretty much is there. The RS Nor Latch, lots of little redstone things coming in handy. And then over here, obviously, we use clocks for the spawning bays. And right, so after you get teleported, what happens when you're in here? Well, first, this massive clock, which detects the spawning area, sets your spawn, so sets when you die. When you die, you will find yourself in one of these two boxes, depending on which game. So if you teleport to this, it will set your spawn to inside this box. Arena 1 Death to Arena 1 Viewing Area. That's basically saying. And then that means that when you die, and you leave the game, it will teleport you in here, which will reset your spawn to the actual spawn of the world, and then teleport you to the observation area up there, and then you will be out of the game. You will be out of the player detection radius, that is this square, because you'll be all the way up there. And from up there, if you want, you can teleport to the spawn, or you can just watch the game from above. Obviously, this doesn't just set your spawn to inside that box. It also, depending on where it is, teleports you inside there. And the reason why it says vanilla game starting over and over again is it is a clock. But by the time it's done a run, it's usually teleported all the players, unless you're playing with more than 10 players. And the same thing happens over here with this one. The clock goes in cycles, sets your spawn to inside this bedrock box, and then when you die, sets your spawn back to there and teleports you to that observation tower instead of that one. Because that's the walled-in one, and that's the not walled-in one. You're probably wondering what these things are over here. These things are basically just the templates I used. I originally wanted to use the walls for the different template tiles, but turns out you can't turn these into sand spawners, falling sand spawners. So I couldn't use these, and I had to go with fences. So that's what those are over there in the repairing station. In the repairing station there's just lots of spawners, which spawn lots and lots of fences. Like tons. Okay, and then underneath these things. As you can see, there are tons of Enderman spawners, and there's some item spawners, and then the player detection spawners. Right. I think they're starting without us in there. Yes, they are. Um, so, what's going on in here? Well, obviously, the Endermen are spawning. Now, they don't drop Ender Balls, but you can get... Ender Balls, I mean Ender Pearls. I call them Ender Balls. You can get Ender Pearls in the other arena. And that's what this mesh is. This mesh on the ceiling is to stop people. It's 3 thick, and it stops people enderballing through these portals and stuff like that. Because obviously I have no idea what's in the end because I've never gone through these portals, but I don't particularly want to either because there's no way back really. So yeah, just let those go. And there we go. The current game has ended again. And we'll just pop in here so you guys can see it. Yep, mesh. And if we go underneath, we can just see all of the redstone torches. And then if we go underneath this, we can kind of see... let's get some glowstone. We can kind of see how they're spawning. And then in this is an item spawner. And I believe this is for a stone sword. If you look very carefully, you might be able to see the tiny little stone swords rotating in there. And these are the villager spawners. So that's pretty much how I made the map. Just demolish more of the map while I'm at it. It's alright, I have backup saves, and obviously I could just download it myself if I need to. So this is how I went into and tackled the problem of how I was going to repair the map and how I was going to control where people went. I've got a new project that I'm starting on now, and I want to include you guys in there more, so there'll be a video up about that soon enough. And I guess I'll see you next time. Bye.